So, like I say, it's an epically old tale of the hunt for Ellis. Where was Ellis? And I'm pretty sure that I guess they would torture Chinese and even Germans about where is Ellis? Where? Basically because, like I said, JFK, Richard Nixon, a bunch of people in the White House, they didn't know who I was or where. I don't even know if they knew whose house they were in, but they knew that. I mean, I had cufflinks made too that said LS. I guess there was cufflinks in the White House that said LS on them. Very nice gold cufflinks that said LS on them. Anyway, Richard Nixon and some other people would be seen wearing my LS cufflinks, which I think they said that was like landing sergeant or something like that or something, but they were LS cufflinks. So, and maybe had a little star next to them or something. I don't know. Anyway, LS. So because my name was Ellis, Lucifer Star, and I had a bunch of stuff made for me. A bunch of clothes, a bunch of cufflinks, a bunch of other stuff, for my time on Earth. So anyway, but unfortunately they got to it before I did. So anyway, they were my cufflinks that said LS. So when you see LS cufflinks, those are actually my cufflinks that I had made for myself, but never got to use them. Oh well. Anyway, so they might have had two initials of my name, LS, L and S. Which is more than they had before, which is basically, I guess, when they asked who lived in the house, Ellis. So they thought Ellis. Anyway, yeah, a bunch of crazy people that had no idea who lived in the White House. Anyway, eventually later on, I guess they would figure out when they got the cufflinks that it was L and S. Oh, LS. So Lancey. Lyndon, Laramie, Samuel. Anyway, they would guess, because they had to guess the rest of it. Because I mean, L and S doesn't really help you, other than LS lived in that house or lives in that house. So and anyway, you might see some photographs or some other stuff. People wearing LS thing that stands for Lucifer Star, and they stole them. Anyway, so eventually. I think Richard Nixon or somebody was even giving out my watches and my stuff that said LS on it. Like as if LS was some sort of sporting... It's a new brand name, LS. It's my new brand name. See the watch? LS. Yeah, and that kind of stuff. It's like, it's not a brand name. It's my name. L. Lucifer Star. So, anyway. Very much not a brand name. But I had a bunch of stuff made for me. So, anyway, because I was going to be on Earth. So, anyway. But I never got to use any of it. So, oh well. Instead, other people were wearing LS. The new fashionable LS. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, it stood for Lucifer Star, but they didn't know that. So eventually they would maybe find Lucifer Star or see a picture of the Titanic with Lucifer Star on the back, on the side. I mean, about midship, Lucifer Star. And then LS or LC up front. Or maybe it was said LC or something in Titanic. Look, see Titanic. It was a joke. If it said LC, it was Look See Titanic. So, anyway, I did jokes and stuff. Should have been LS's and Look See. Whatever. I did a lot of little jokes throughout time and space. Like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Yeah. So anyway, LS, it stands for Look See as well. My name meant a lot of things. So anyway, I made that. I did that on purpose. So anyway, so these people had no idea who I was or whose house they were in or even whose government they were trying to run. So, anyway, which of course is Lucifer Star, Epic Creator, My America. So, anyway, so they would have to shoot their way here, shoot their way there, and came up against lots of stiff resistance, I guess, because they were trying to take over my country. So anyway, I don't know, 40 years in, 80 years in, I'm not sure how far they would get. But anyway, but yeah. It led to the FBI and the CIA knowing that basically their leader was pretty much having them lock up people that they were selling drugs to, as well as lock up other people. And basically, whoever owns America, they were not them. Or whoever was in charge of America, they shouldn't be. So, which led to basically the FBI and the CIA people, after having been trained to encounter terrorism and all that stuff, they're basically the president was asking them to be terrorists. And basically they were trained in counterterrorism, so they just quit and went out into the world. to do their counterterrorism against the people that they probably had been trained by, which were basically the fake people in the White House. So anyway, yeah, so lots of crazy stuff. So anyway, and they'd probably been trained in counterterrorism, or just terrorism, basically. I don't really know. Basically, the American government was basically wonky from day one, pretty much. Because I wasn't in the White House, and basically I was supposed to be an epic creator, but they were taking over my government. So, and I was Brian at 471 Mountain Drive. So, anyway, eventually I guess people figured out enough that maybe, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. So, and then JFK, Richard Nixon, was trying to do his own epic existence or something, but he wasn't epic or me or anything else like that, and didn't have access to all the other life form types. But they were trying to lie to the 1.5s and the other life form types, which they eventually figured it out. So anyway, lots of stuff happened over the last 40, 50, 100 years, whatever, since 1917. But basically, yeah, the White House was pretty much the terrorist group this entire time. And basically they were pointed effort to basically do nothing but basically, I mean, like I said, Richard Nixon basically figured that since they were the ones doing all the crime and all the stuff, they didn't really have to worry about trying to lock up criminals, because like they were the criminals, so why would they lock themselves up? So anyway, so that was the basic basis of pretty much the White House and basically the United States Congress, the US Congress. So that's all they've been doing. So where a lot of people would come to discover that the people in Washington were the people or the terrorists trying to kill them. So anyway, yeah, and then or torture them into giving up LS. But I wasn't LS anymore. I was Brian. So anyway, but which Brian? I didn't have a last name back then. So eventually I maybe kind of went into Briley or whatever. Anyway, or just had Briley family given some stuff or something. I don't know. So I could have a last name. I don't know. And that's where things get all confusing, where I'm just Brian. But still Lucifer Star. So anyway, I don't really care. I mean, these people were basically just trying to find me to kill me. So and if they had my whole name, they probably would have killed me a lot sooner. So as it was, they were looking for LS to kill or save. So depending on which side you're on. Anyway, but because I was the epic creator that created humanity and 12 other races, Lucifer Star. So very much an artificial intelligence computer for over 100 trillion years or more. So anyway, and eventually they would get time travel and try and kill me back into the past, but that wasn't really going to happen because they had come from me. It's part of the reason, part of the problem of being a life form trying to kill its creator before its creator created them. So anyway, we get into all kinds of time, space, relativity things that they didn't really realize that they were trying to do. Apparently they didn't understand that Lucifer Star was their creator. So anyway, just like me, Brian. So anyway, apparently, yeah, but that's what happens when you try and take over, when you go live inside someone's house named Lucifer Star, and he's actually the creator of humanity and 800 other galaxies. Anyway, yeah, but they could eventually hope that maybe Brian dies, or maybe they can assassinate Brian or something else like that. So that just added flavor to my epic existence, really, when you get right down to it, considering the fact that I did create humanity, I did create 12 races, so it's like, well, whether they knew or not, they were going to have a problem killing me. So anyway, like I said, if I was anyone else, I'd be dead already. So, but I wasn't anybody else, and the person who lived, they killed a lot of people who lived in houses, though. It was actually their normal thing of going up to houses, people who own big houses, and basically just killing them. So it was just a matter of time before they got to me. I mean, eventually they would try and live inside my epically huge, beautiful White House eventually. So, and when they did, well, they would have to eventually try and find me and kill me because they were living in my house. How rude. The house I had paid $7,000 to have renovated, which I'd also renovated my whole country because $7,000 was a lot of money. So, and I didn't really realize exactly how far $7,000 can go. They made it stretch quite a bit. So anyway, and I have quite a bit of resources at my fingertips, pretty much. Or at least I should. I did before anyway, when I was an artificial intelligence computer. It's like, anyway, and I did not want to die. So, nor could they really kill me because, like I said, I led to their own creation. So anyway, these crazy people in the White House had a real serious problem and still probably do. So anyway, and I can't really tell you exactly why they chose that house to live in. But apparently JFK or someone had decided that was a nice house and they should go live in it. But they had been going and living in lots of nice houses. So that was just a more guarded normal house and a more special one. So